Hey, this is Tim here with Expert Power Wash. Got something really cool to show you guys today. We built a 6x10 pressure washing trailer dual axle. We're taking a little walk through the shop here. You guys can see some of the stuff that we have here. Ton of pressure washers. It's after hours. So of course I'm here doing a little walkthrough for you guys. Let's take a look out in the build shop here and see what we got. All of our hoses there. Check that out. We got 1, 2, 3 skids right there ready to go. Let's take a walk out back here in our testing grounds. We're almost here. Gonna head outside. This is where we test all of our skids. Give you a look out back here. There it is there behind me. I'm gonna give you guys a quick walk around. Let's check out all the details and take a look here. All right, here it is. This is a 6x10 dual axle trailer. This is not a common size you'll see in a dual axle configuration. This trailer we actually have custom built for us. There's a local trailer fabrication shop that we use. We give them all of our specs. This trailer is not just a standard utility trailer. This is actually built for our industry. Let me show you some of the custom fabrication that we have spec'd out on our trailers. So you have this super heavy duty 2-inch square tube. If you look down here, let me get you a closer look. There's actually a metal beam that runs across here, and you can see, there you go. Let me show you this part here. It's actually welded into that metal beam that runs along the floor there, so everything is heavy duty. This thing is solid. So if you're familiar with some of our other builds, we have the 8-foot pressure washing skid. That's our workhorse skid. Everything that we do, we want it to be overbuilt, super heavy duty, and that's what we've done with this trailer here. This is one of our most popular pressure washing trailers that we build. The reason why people like these 6x10 trailers, one, it's a little bit smaller. As you can see, it has plenty of space on here. Nothing is crowded. There's even storage space back here still. But these trailers fit in most residential garages, so it makes it a little bit easier to store. The most common size for a dual axle trailer, you're gonna see a 6.5 by 12. This one is actually 2 feet smaller. So when I first started pressure washing, that's what I was running, was a 6x10. I did not have the luxury of having a custom trailer builder and access to all those resources. This is exactly what I would have done if I started years ago and I could have the perfect trailer. This would be it here. So let's jump into the front. Let's talk about the pressure washer. So this is a GX690. This is a custom built pressure washer. We have these built for us. So as we go around this build, you're going to see a lot of that stuff that we have custom built for us. I think it's just a lot better than some of the basic stuff that's available out there in the market. So this is a gear drive. So what that means is you have the engine, you have a gearbox that goes between the engine and the pump. This is the general pump, TSF 2021. This thing is built like a tank. You have the Honda exhaust there on the top. And then another little custom thing that we do on all of our pressure washers, if this is the one you select, we do sell some belt drives and some off-the-shelf stuff if you're interested in cutting a little bit of cost. But if you're looking for kind of the best of the best, this is really the way to go. But right here, where you typically see the unloader mounted, we've relocated the unloader down here. So this is called a block mounted unloader. So this is the whip line, goes down to the unloader, and then it comes out of that block and then runs out to the hose reel. This is a flow sensitive unloader. It's called a pulsar unloader. So with this unloader, you don't have all that trapped pressure that's trapped in the line. So when you pull the trigger, you have that violent jerk in your hands. That's pretty common with most pressure washers, common homeowner grade stuff. None of them is going to have an unloader like this. So this is really nice if you're hooking up to a drone. When you go to pull the trigger or activate the spray from a remote, you're not gonna have a violent jerk on your drone. So a lot of different things that this machine works for. Just overall, just a joy to use, works very well. It's built heavy duty. You can see the aluminum frame there on the bottom. This is something custom as well. This stuff is a 1/4 inch thick. We're using all stainless steel hardware. This is key start. This is really, if you're going to pick a pressure washer for commercial cleaning, this would be the one to get here. So 8 gallons a minute, 3,500 PSI. This thing is a true workhorse. So we also have a bypass line coming off the back of the unloader here. So when you're off the gun, this will actually recirculate back into the water tank there. So we'll get into the tanks here in just a second. You got a marine grade battery there in the battery box. You have an actual made in the USA circuit breaker. So this is what's protecting the reels. So you simply push in that button if you want to shut off your reels, and then there's a little leg that pops out on the bottom of here. Simply push that up and then your reels are back on. So guys like this for multiple reasons. Obviously, one, it's going to protect your reels, and two, you can actually shut down your reels. So if you're parked in somewhere public these buttons are very drawing towards people to want to push them. So if you push these buttons, obviously that'll wrap around really fast. But if you turn off that circuit breaker, nobody can do that. Like I said, this is a marine grade battery. It's an interstate, so we're not using any of the cheap batteries out there to kind of cut cost and save money. We're going to use the best of the best. This right here, this is an 11-gallon aluminum fuel tank. There's a lot of options on Amazon. This is not an Amazon fuel tank. This is coming out of Florida, built in the USA, out of a custom gas tank fabrication shop. Take a look at those welds there. The aluminum being used on this one is a lot thicker than what you're going to see on some of the Amazon ones. If you want a gas gauge, there's a block-off plate. We can order those in separately and put those on your build if that's something that you're looking for. This does have a rollover valve. So with this pressure washer, there's a built-in fuel pump. So it's going to pull fuel out of this fuel tank. And if it's not vented, it's not going to work properly. So this has a little ball at the bottom. So when the gas splashes up, it pushes that ball up and you don't have any fuel leakage. And when it's resting kind of in the position it's in now, it's going to pull air in as that fuel pump on the pressure washer is pulling fuel. Works really well. This is what they use in race cars, NASCAR. This technology was kind of adapted from there. So really nice brass. These are a bit more expensive than some of the other rollover valves out there. These are really nice ones, made in the USA. Got the 1/4-inch brass barb here. Everything is all ran neatly. Runs behind the pressure washer and then up to the fill filter. And back up and give you an overall look here. This is the brand new FlowPro. So this is a remote control downstream system. And I'll give you a look at, you can kind of see the back of it between the reels over there. I'll explain kind of what that does here in a moment. But basically, you can pull chemical into your pressure washing line. It's exactly how it sounds. That is downstream from the pump, which means you're not pulling any chemical into the pump. You can simply turn the soap on and off through this remote control system. So really nice. This is FlowPro's 5th gen, or Gen 5 as they call it. You can see it's on right now. There is a voltage meter built into this, so you can see how many volts your battery is at. Got the 7-gallon soap tank down below that. We have our custom mounting system there holding that 7-gallon soap tank in place. It's probably overkill, but it's built stout, the way that it should be built. Let's talk about these tank straps here. This is kind of a brand new design for us. So in the past, we've had where the tab kind of came off the front here. So we'd put a bolt down through on each leg of the tank strap system. But what we've done here is actually move the tabs to the side. So you have a mounting surface on each side. So we've doubled the strength of our tank straps. Give you a look at the other side there. This is a heavy duty plate. You can mount other things to this as well. We'll jump into the tanks here in just a second. Let me show you the back side of those straps. They are welded and they're welded nicely. We have a really talented welder in-house that welds up all this, does a really nice job. If you look at the welds, they are heavy duty, nice penetrating welds. This isn't done by a sloppy part-time welder. This is done by the real deal here. You see the tabs there on the back, how we have them on each side. Another thing you can do with these tank straps, because they are a 1/4-inch thick, is you can actually tap into these, put a plate across here. We've done some builds where we've put pure water systems on the back or the front of the skid, however you want it set up. But with these being as heavy duty as they are, it makes a really nice mounting point to put extra accessories that you want on your build on the back of those straps. Let's talk about these tanks. So we use 100-gallon slim tanks. We like these. They look good on the trailer. They take up barely any room. You have a 300-gallon capacity on a 6x10 trailer and you still have room in the front and back. So we tie these two together, which gives you a total of 200 gallons of water. This is all really nice banjo fittings. We use these clamps that come out of the UK. Kind of expensive, but they work really well. This is a real heavy duty crush-proof hose that we're using here. If you look at how those are set up, we have a new process for installing bulkheads to guarantee that these things are not going to leak. So those are tied together, so as the water flows in, you can see that blue hose over there. There's a Hudson flow valve underneath that, so as the tanks fill up, it'll automatically turn off. You see a little bit of water in here from testing. We were running this earlier prior to the customer coming in and picking it up. Make sure everything is a go, everything works as it should. We document all of our tests, so if you guys ever want to see pictures and video footage of our testing here, we're more than happy to send those over to you and let you see some of the testing stuff that we do with every build that we complete. Last tank here, this is for bleach or chem. You have a 100-gallon capacity. This is the most that you're allowed to carry on a pressure washing setup. Back when we started, we used to have a 35-gallon. That didn't quite cut it. We went to a 55-gallon. that always left us kind of wanting more, especially when we were doing some of the bigger commercial jobs. So this is really the way to go. This is going to take care of all your residential stuff and then have enough for some of those bigger commercial jobs. You can see the 1-inch drain here. We're using a Schedule 80 PVC ball valve, so you can quickly dump your tanks. You don't have to carry around water or wait forever for your tanks to empty. You can also use this as a bucket filler, eye wash station. You can rinse off your hands. Take a look back here. You got the gun laying across the back deck. Coming around to the first reel here, you have a Titan 18-inch electric reel. This is a full frame aluminum reel with stainless steel internals. What I mean by stainless steel internals, this is the manifold. So the liquid flows in, travels through this manifold, and then out to the tanks. This is stainless, this is stainless. All of these bracket systems here are stainless. The swivel here, this is all stainless. We're using stainless steel clamps. You have to be careful. Titan is a great company. We absolutely love their reels, but they make a couple other versions of this. We often see people come to us and asking if we're able to match pricing on reels. When we start to dig in a little bit further, they're comparing these reels to ones that are just using regular pipe iron, regular steel here. And where that might be okay with some of the garden stuff and pressure, if you're flowing chemicals through those, they're really gonna degrade really fast. We had a guy come in here today even, and we took a look at his swivel and inside his manifold, and it was corroded like you wouldn't believe. So be careful of when you're looking at pricing, or if you're considering building something like this yourself, you wanna make sure that you're using all good stuff. Let's take a look at the wiring here. We use all black wiring. Everything just blends along with the factory wiring on the reels here. Surprised more people don't do this, but this is 8-gauge marine grade. This is USA wire. Take a look at the heat shrink here. This is all 3M heat shrink. This has the gluing internals in it, so it is holding that lug. It shrinks around it and then also glues around it. You take a look there. This lug, this is a pure tinned copper plated lug, so that's not going to corrode up and rust like some of the other cheaper ones that we see people using. When you're wiring something up like this, and it's designed to work every day and make you money, it just doesn't make sense to cut corners in some of these parts where, one, maybe people just don't know. If you're having us put together something like this, you can trust that we've done our research. We've spent years out in the field actually washing in the wash industry before we ever started building equipment. So we understand how these things need to work. We understand what goes bad, what corrodes, what doesn't last, and we've done our darndest to make sure that everything we build is going to last as long as it can possibly last. Take a look at that plumbing. I can guarantee you that you have not seen a system cleaner plumbed than this system here. Everything's all ran neatly. This is back here. Let's take a look at this. This is a brand new rinse valve system for the downstream system. Let's see if I can get you a closer look here. So you can see if it's turned towards red, that means your downstream system is going to be pulling chemical. If it's turned towards the blue knob there, that means you're going to be pulling water. What this allows your system to do is not just pull chemical, but you can simply rinse out your downstream injector. I'll show you that right over here. We're not quite to that yet, but let's jump over here. So that's your downstream injector. You can see the hose running to that. That's going to corrode up pretty quickly. We don't see a lot of guys rinsing these out, but that's, again, one of those things where we started building our own trucks back in the day, and we found that if we put a rinse valve in line, it would make that downstream injector last a lot longer. We've went through a couple different versions of these, and this is just really a nice bracket system for a rinse valve. Let's go back to this hose reel. A couple more things to talk about. You have 100 feet of 3/4 garden hose. So this is the larger diameter stuff. This is really nice hose. Once you get up into the 3/4 size on this Flexzilla, it's almost like it's an upgraded hose. It's way better. We've been using this stuff for about 8 years now and have not seen a single issue with this stuff. All right, let's talk about the mixer here. So this is our ProMixer XL. We've modded a bunch of stuff on this to make it as good as it can possibly be. One, you got the Chemline valves. You have the check valves here. These actually have a Hastelloy spring in them. So commonly you'll see stainless steel springs in those, and they last okay. And they are bleach resistant, chemical resistant, but these are a lot more chemical resistant than some of the other stainless steel versions that you'll see out there. Most people are using the stainless steel check valves because they just don't know that the Hastelloy ones exist. We dug around for a while, we're able to find these and source them, and now we put them on all of our builds. The problem with these is you can put a stainless steel and a Hastelloy check valve side by side. You're not going to be able to know the difference. Same thing with this little valve in here. There's two versions of that 1/4-inch valve. One has Viton seals in it and the other one does not. Most guys won't know the difference, but if you are a experienced builder, you're going to know that the one that doesn't have the Viton seals in it is definitely not going to last as long. It's going to break down and fail you pretty quickly. So going back to these check valves, another thing we've done here, this here is 3/4. The metering valve is 3/4, so we do that on the bleach and the water side. And then on the soap here, this is a 1/4 inch line running to this. So we use the 1/2 inch check valve and the 1/2 inch metering valve on that. This last valve here with the yellow handle, this is a 3/4 three-way valve. This is made by Banjo. Really nice polypropylene valve here. There's some other cheaper versions out there. You guys hear me say that a lot. I'm probably one of my pet peeves when I start seeing guys use just subpar parts when there's things that are available that are so much better. So these valves, these cost us about 59 bucks versus trying to find a cheaper version for 30 bucks. If you guys are looking for a good quality build and I charge you a couple bucks more for that valve, I think you're going to see the value and actually prefer that. The best possible product that we can offer you, you're just not going to know. So it's one of those little things I obsessed about: the clamps, the hoses, the check valves, the three-way valves, all those little things that all come together to make a functioning system last longer and just all around work better. So again, this is our ProMixer XL. If you guys are looking for some of these parts and you are putting together your own system, I don't fault you for that. I think we build a dang good system, one of the best out there. But if you want to put together something yourself and you need some help with sourcing some of these good parts, we do have a website, pressurewashingskids.com. Take a look there. We don't sell any garbage. That's all the same good stuff that we put on all of our builds. Let's take a look at the back here. This is the Remco 5.3 pump. So this is the new Remco dual control. This is actually built for the softwash industry. It's another one of those parts you have to be very careful if you're sourcing that yourself or you're buying it from somebody else. There's two different kinds of pumps. Remco is pretty rooted in the RV industry, the water pump industry, and the body of the pumps look exactly the same. The only thing that's going to be different is the part numbers. So these have the upgraded seals in them. They have the dual control system built into the pump, and they just work and are designed for the softwash industry. Everything is on quick connects. So this is on a quick connect, the hose here. This is on a peg system, so you could actually just push this pump in, put a little pressure on it, and these are flange nuts. So you got two nuts on each side, and then the wiring is connected with a plug. So simply unplug it, pull those nuts off, pull the hoses off here, and you can change a pump out in about 5 minutes or less. If I was doing it, I've done so many of them over the years, I could probably get it done in about a minute or two. So nice quick pump change. That's probably one of the biggest failure points of a softwash system. Most guys that are getting into this industry don't understand that pumps only last so long, and that's probably going to be your most replaced part, is that little device back there. So we want to build them so you can get in there, maintenance set, get back to making some money. All right, let's talk about the next hose reel. These are all the same as the Garden, full frame, aluminum, stainless steel internals. This one has 200 feet of 1/2 inch softwash hose. We have the crimped ends going into the gun here. It's just one less fitting to have to worry about with a quick connect. If you want a quick connect, we can do a quick connect for you guys. We also make a swiveling version, a Mossmatic swivel. If that's something you want spec'd out on your build, just let us know and we can add it. So this is the Suttner 510 gun. This is one of the best, most durable softwash guns out there. This has the stainless steel nozzles. So this is known as a J-rod or a 4 nozzle holder. Some people call it different things, but we have every nozzle dialed in for that pump perfectly, so you can guarantee that this thing is going to spray like it should. This is the FlowPro system. There's a lot to get in here. I would recommend spending a little bit of time doing some research about the downstreaming system, but this is about the best you can get. Let me show you here. Maybe I can give you a quick little overview. So this is the whip line that comes out of the pressure washer. We have this on quick connects. So your water's coming out of the back of the unloader. You could simply unplug this. I'll try to do this with one hand. Simply unplug this, and then this plugs into the back of the FlowPro system here. See, just like that, plugs in. This right here will turn the ball valve open or close. When you're sending your pressure up through here, it's gonna go right across that injector. And as long as you're using the proper low pressure nozzle, that's gonna pull chemical into the line. It's gonna go around the loop and then come out there. You can plug your pressure washing hose into that as you pull it off the reel. Let's go ahead and unplug that, plug that back into the reel. So we like to design our systems so you can use it multiple different ways. And you notice everything's not hard plumbed in. Even the hose that comes off the back of the pressure washer there, that's on quick connects. So both sides of the whip line's on quick connects, and of course you can quick connect that back into the FlowPro system. This is a really nice system. We have the riser plate that we add to the FlowPro systems. We also have these nice aluminum brackets that we add to the FlowPro system. So when you order something from FlowPro, what you're getting is this little actuator, and you actually have to add all the other pieces to make this a fully functioning system. So we build this out ready to spray, set up the way that it should, so you guys will have a proper downstream system. All right, let's go over to the last hose reel here. another 18-inch Titan electric. This has 200 feet of Fierce Jet pressure washing hose on it. This is the really nice top of the line pressure washing hose. This is what we used for years. I've tried to find a better hose, and this is what we used, and this is what we use on all of our builds. So if you look at the pressure there, this is 4250, that's your working pressure, and then it has a burst rate. If you can see that, it says 10,625, and you can also see that it's rated for 310 degrees. So really good, stout, one wire hose. It's not super heavy. If you wanted a heavier duty hose, we do sell this stuff in 2-wire as well, but this is going to work probably for 90% of the people out there. Unless you're doing 100% commercial and you're pulling hoses hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet every single night, you might want a 2-wire hose. But like I said, this works in most cases. All the quick connects on these hoses are stainless steel, so we're not using like a nickel plated or brass fittings. Got the quick connects there. This is a nice Mossmatic swivel. So as you're twisting your gun, you don't have to worry about your hose getting tangled up. This has a stainless steel plug on there as well. You want to be very careful if you're sourcing Mossmatic swivels. We've had some swivels come in before that was sourced through a third party. They said Mossmatic on them. They definitely were not Mossmatic. So all the swivels that we give now are directly from Mossmatic. We source stuff from trustworthy sources to make sure you guys are getting a good quality product. That's the trailer. If you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments. I'm going to put some information down there on how to contact me. I'll also drop some links in the description of some of the other builds that we've done. So if you guys want to see one of the trailers like the Portlandian or see one of our ultimate mini skids, I'll drop that down there in the description. If you're new to this channel, we have just about, well, a little over 500 videos here on the channel. You could take a look at some of our early stuff, some of our newer stuff, kind of our journey in the pressure washing industry. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.